Hello and welcome to this weekend market analysis for the 16th, okay, let's say 17th to 21st of June 2019. Well, we are going to be very straight to the point in this analysis, and we are actually not going to be conducting a whole fresh analysis. The charts have already been analyzed, so I am just going to be explaining the possible directional buyers in the longer time frames, okay. All right, let's look into the Forex Factory economical calendar to see those high impact news announcements that are scheduled for this upcoming trading week. As you can see in the Forex Factory economical calendar here, we have quite a number of high impact news announcements that are scheduled for this upcoming trading week. That means this is going to be a very active trading week. It's going to be a very volatile one, especially that we have interest rate announcements in most of those pairs, and of course we also have the FOMC on Wednesday the 19th of June 2019. So a very heavy trading week ahead. You have to pay attention to all of these news announcements as you trade on, okay. All right, let's look into the Forex Factory. Let's look into the charts right now to see what we have waiting for us. The first chart is the euro against the American dollar. Remember, we have remained sideways in this chart for so many weeks. The price has been sideways. It has refused to change direction clearly to the upside. Each time it makes an attempt, it is being dragged down. Each time it makes an attempt, it is pulled down. Another attempt, it is being pulled down. Well, in the daily time frame, you can see the fall as of last week. You can see that fall to the downside again. This is now our new level of daily resistance, okay. And we also have this leaning line that was acting as resistance and may now act as support the next time price comes around to retest that level. All right, at any rate, a price should be the whole of this zone right here should be a support area, so you need to be very careful hitting on your sell button around that point. For us, we have not found any valid entry yet, and so we are still flat. We are watching this pair, looking for possible entry, but we are still flat, okay. If we find any valid entry around in here, then we'll be looking for possible bounces to the upside in the euro against the American dollar. But I think all of this is this sideways price behavior might just be price waiting for the FOMC on Wednesday, okay. That might just be what price is waiting for. So we need to wait for that news announcement until we find a valid entry. All right, the next one is the Australian dollar against the American dollar. Like I said, nothing much in most of these pairs. Like this one here, price is trading around support zone. All we need to do is to keep watching price for any possible reaction of that support area for bounces to the upside. That means even if you're an intraday trader, this is not an ideal location for you to be searching for short entries. In the very long term, price is trading around support zone, so you want to be very careful hitting on your sell button on the Australian dollar against the American dollar, because the price can react off that level and bounce to the upside. It is best to wait for a breakout of that level before you keep searching for short opportunities in the Australian dollar against the American dollar. So right now we are waiting for possible reaction of that level, either for a bounce or a breakout. All right, the Swiss franc against the Japanese yen. Well, in the weekly time frame, you can clearly see how price has now hesitated around that area. So if you zoom into the daily time frame, you will see that hesitation. This is the hesitation right here in the daily time frame, and you can clearly see that that hesitation is a flat top triangle. All right, it's a flat top triangle. We are expecting that the flat top triangle is going to break to the upside. We'll be looking for a very nice continuation move. So right now, the Swiss franc against the Japanese yen is trading towards that leaning level of support. So if you're hitting on your sell button, be very careful, because support is not far from that zone. From there on, price could bounce to the upside or it could break to the downside. Okay, so for us, we'll keep watching until we find a valid entry. The American dollar against the Swiss franc. I am liking this pair a lot. In the weekly time frame, you can see how price has reacted off that trend line. That's trend line here. This is an inside bar, clear inside bar of that trend line. But hey, in my opinion, this looks tricky. It looks a bit tricky. I am not going to take any buy entry. All right, we are not going to trade this inside bar here of that trend line. We are not going to trade that. Okay, it looks a bit tricky. Let's just hold on. It is best to wait until the end of this week. All right, the end of this week. Let's see how the next weekly candle forms. I know we are likely going to be pushing to the upside, but at the same time, I am expecting that after a little push to the upside, we'll be coming back down again. So be extremely careful taking a buy entry in the American dollar against the Swiss franc. More so that in the daily time frame we have a leaning trend line. So if you hit on your buy button there, you will be trading against that trend line. So be very patient until we get a clear hint, and we are expecting that price is going to push to the downside. So if we get a hint for a possible turn to the downside in the American dollar against the Swiss franc, we will not hesitate to click on our sell button. All right, the American dollar against the Canadian dollar. This is a similar price behavior. You can also see how price has reacted off that inner trend line. That's the bounce right there, a fake breakout. In fact, price went as if it was going to pull through, but immediately it is pushing back up. So the entire price breakout below there can be termed as fake. But to me, it is not over. This is still looking very tricky, especially the price failed to take out the previous swing high. So we still need enough confirmation. We still need to be patient. Very soon, I believe the directional bias will be clear enough for us to look for our entries. In the daily time frame, this is quite a mess. All right, it is a mess. Just avoid the trading here for now. Okay, if you draw a trend line, let's see that. All right, just avoid trading here for now. At any rate, be careful. Around here might be some resistance for price to come back down. Okay, I would like to favor more of short opportunities than long opportunities in the American dollar against the Canadian dollar. Let's wait and see if we get any entry. Next one is the New Zealand dollar against the Canadian dollar. Well, unfortunately for this pair, we closed out our profits quite early. This pair still has the potential to push to the downside. It is still bearish. It is best for us to keep searching for short entries. We closed that trade out too early. The directional bias still remains to the downside. In the daily time frame, price is trading around the daily level of support now. It will not be wise to hit on our sell button against that level of support at this time. At best, we'll be searching in the short time frame for possible short entries in the New Zealand dollar against the Canadian dollar. This pair is still bearish, very bearish. Let's keep searching for short entries. The Swiss franc, the Canadian dollar against the Swiss franc. Quite some confusion going on in this pair. Heavy confusion. It looks more to the downside, it looks more to the upside. Quite confused here. Okay, and the multiple pin bars we are having around that level of resistance in the daily time frame has worsened the confusional situation of this pair. So all we need to do is to sit aside, be on the sideline, wait for price to move away. The confusion going on here is not ideal. Once you notice that kind of confusion, you better want to stay away. For us, even though this is pointing to the downside, we are still going to be a bit careful. All right, the Australian dollar against the Canadian dollar. Well, clearly you can also see that price is trading around that level of support, which is coming from the very long term, the monthly time frame. That means you should be careful hitting on your sell button. In the daily time frame, we are getting the pin bar of the daily level of support. That's the pin bar right there. That's the pin bar. Okay. But at any rate, again, All of these are pin bars upon pin bars. Is a confusional market situation, and you want to sit aside. Just hold on until we get a solid, confirmed, valid setup for us to trade. For now, this is support. I agree that the directional bias should be to the upside, but we cannot see that valid setup with high quality probability for us to take the trade. Even though this is a pin bar, the multiplicity of pin bars around that level is a thing to worry about. Okay. All right. Finally, New Zealand dollar against the American dollar. Similar price behavior. Price is now coming back down again in the weekly time frame. Maybe it's coming to retest the weekly level of support before a bounce to the upside. Let's keep watching as price trades around that level of support. In the daily time frame, it is still trading around the level of support right there. Last week we didn't take any trade off this area. You can see how price just cruised through that level, and so we didn't take any trade. We'll keep watching to see if we find any reaction around this zone. If we get any reaction off that area for a bounce opportunity, then we are going to be taking that trade without hesitation. For now, there is no entry. Price is trading around long-term level of support. You want to be careful hitting on your sell button and start searching for long opportunities in the New Zealand dollar against the American dollar. All right, folks, that's basically all. Like I said, I didn't want to waste your time. If you have questions or contributions, please feel free. Send them across to us, and we will be very excited to respond to them. To have a profitable trading week. We'll talk again, hopefully, before the London market opens for tomorrow. Bye-bye.